Hello guys. In the last video related to the CSAT, I talked about how to approach the passage, that is reading comprehension. There were around 29 questions asked in 2025 CSAT paper. In this video, I am going to talk about the one example from each keyword. Let me start with the first one, that is corollary. In this passage, firstly, we have to recognize the main topic. That is, here we have agriculture. In agriculture, he connected many ideas. One is non-agriculture economy, and then he talked about the growth CAGR, and then he talked about the relative stagnation compared to the other sectors in the economy, and then he talked about this non-agriculture growth, which has been consistently increased. Now let me move on to this question corollary. Firstly, we have benefit of economic reforms slowly yes, it may be considered right. Move on to the second one, green revolution, where it is talking about directly out was not. And then we have third statement, that is lagged behind other countries. It is not at all comparing with other countries if you see properly. And then mechanization, where is mechanization? It is not talking about it. And then we have the fourth statement, that is migration. Migration is also not talking about specifically there. So we have clear answer, that is first option. What is corollary? The main fact or idea or statement presented in the passage. So first one is the answer. Next, move on to the second passage. Here we are going to talk about the central idea, and then assumption. Here the main topic is renewable energy. He is connecting this topic with different ideas. One is cost, and then production. Also, he is talking about the evidence, the strong evidence of solar energy. And then he is talking about the investment, green investments. Now, with this information, we move on to the question. Reflects the central idea. First, we have economics. Economies of scale is essential for transition to green growth. It is normal statement, but it has been directly taken here. But he is missing learning by doing. So it is obviously wrong. Directly copy pasted, but missed this deliberately. And then in this second statement, we have modern technological progress. Here, innovation is considered innovation. Intensely linked to part dependent innovation. Here. It may be considered true. Let me move on to the third statement. Countries with large economies is not at all comparing with large, medium, and all. So it is obviously a wrong one. Fourthly, we have timing plays a crucial role in the case of green technology development. This is broad statement. Why? Yes, given the statement, considering the whole comprehension of this passage, timing plays a crucial role because is telling here moving early is considered better than late because it will become a costlier. Adoption of renewable energy or technology is going to be a costlier thing if you move later. So in this two options, we move on to this option because it is more broader. And then we move on to the third one, that is assumption. Firstly, we have part dependent green investments will eventually most likely benefit. Yes, benefit. We have benefit growth as well as public finance in a country like India. Is he talking about India here? And then maybe. And then we have, if other green technology follow the same pattern, yes, he has considered a strong evidence here. It's going to be right. But here we have a catchy word, that is easy. Yes, easy. It becomes easy because we have a strong evidence there. This is going to be absolutely right. But this one is very tricky one, first option. But we have to go for it because it is representing the direct keywords here. But India is not represented, but but we have to consider it in this passage. And then we move on to the fourth one related to this logical, rational, and crucial message. Here, this passage is mainly talking about the inflation main topic, this inflation. In this, he is considering two types, that is CPI and WPI. CPI, WPI, where he is considering the classes also, different classes consumption. Now move on to the question. Firstly, we see this last statement. Knowledge of inflation rate is not really of any use to anybody in the country. By common sense, it's going to be wrong. Any use to anybody. But it's also wrong according to the passage. Then we have inflation data underrepresents services in the consumption bucket. It is not at all talked about in the passage. In the consumption, service related. Here they represented services, but inside there is no clue. Inside there is no clue related to that. And then we have the first statement, that is we must use WPI exclusively in the measuring price rise and CPI should be done away with. As a given solution here in this, like this, no, it's going to be wrong. And then in this second statement, we have the present calculation of inflation rate does not correctly measure price rise of individual item or commodity. Yes, oral comprehension, this is going to be right. This answer is going to be derived using elimination, because you have to choose the best answer. Then we move on to the next keyword, that is crux, main crux. It should surround around the main topic. Here the author is talking about the trust. The topic is trust. He's connecting it to the entrepreneurship, and then he is connecting it to it as a commodity in social market, and then he's connecting it to the good esteem, competency, optimism. Now move on to the question. Trustworthiness cannot be expected in entrepreneurship. By common sense, it's going to be wrong. Also here, he talked about entrepreneurship implies trust in others, willingness to expose oneself to betrayal. Cannot be expected, is going to be wrong. And then we have trustworthy people are the most vulnerable people. It's going to be right. Let me take it. We outrightly cannot make it a wrong statement. And then we have no economic activity is possible without being exposed to betrayal. Without being no economic activity. It's going to be absolutely wrong. And then we have the fourth statement, that is trust is important though it entails risk. It's going to be right. We have to consider B and D. We have to come up with the most appropriate answer. Firstly, we have trustworthy people are the most vulnerable people. It's right actually. But in overall comprehension, you have to consider from the top statement to the bottom statement. In that way, this is going to be the right one, most appropriate one compared to the B. Trustworthy people are the most vulnerable people. It's going to be right, commonly defined as vulnerable to others. Important though it entails risk. Yes, he's talking about the risk also. It's more broad. And then we move on to the next keyword, that is implication, implied in the passage keyword. Here the main topic is related to the health. He's talking about the different diseases mainly. Here he is talking about TB, anemia, and then productivity loss, nutrition, demography, and all. Women is connecting it to the women, men also, and then children also is connected to three class of people. Let me move on to the question. Education system must be strengthened in rural areas. Education. Here he is talking about the health. It's wrong. Large scale and effective implementation of skill development program is the need of the hour. Skill development. He is talking about skill development. For economic development, health and nutrition are only is right. Health and nutrition is important. Only it's going to be wrong. Then we come up with the last option, that is attention should be paid to health and nutrition. There is no extreme statement, so we can clearly take this option. Then move on to the next keyword, that is logical and rational inference. We talked about in the last video. Here is talking about main topic, that is elephant. Elephant is then touching upon the ideas, what it eats, what it provides to the other plants and animals, how it access water, is connecting all these ideas surrounding elephant. Move on to the question. Firstly, we have the home range of elephants need to be it's going to be right. Let me take it right. And then elephants are the keystone species.